Today, my topic is about should Chinese be criticized for taking away the job position from Americans? First question, do you like shopping? It's really exciting when you step into the supermarket and see different brands and different styles. So many different goods may have one common label, made in China. With a population of more than 1.6 billion people, China has continuously contributed its cheap labor to the world's manufacturing industry. On the other hand, when American consumers are enjoying the cheap goods coming with the US and China trade relationship, they are also criticized on the job loss due to the trading with China. According to Alexander at 2011, the Economy Policy Institution in the Washington estimate that at least 2.8 million jobs was lost because of China taking over the production of the manufacturing goods. The job losses have affect 50 states in the Americans. For me, as a Chinese student majoring in economy, the argument was particularly correct that China has taken over the production of the manufacturing goods. On the other hand, those job losses are not the whole truth. The Chinese should not be criticized for taking away the job position from Americans. First, I admit that estimated 2.8 million jobs by the Economy Policy Institution is accurate. But are those job losses only a result of international trading? Is there any other fact affect the job market? According to the GEMS, at 2010, technological improvement, but not the international trade, are reducing the U.S. manufacturing employee by the automating mailing road text, and attempts by the members of Congress to save U.S. manufacturing jobs by restrict the trade with China are misguided and futile. On the other word, it was information technology that take away the job from the Americans. Let's take a look at the graph first. The graph 1. From the year of 1987 to the year of 2007, the capital service use per hour of the work didn't change a lot. The manufacturing actually have used less human labors due to the improvement of labor efficiency. On the other hand, total information processing equipment were 6 times higher than before. It means that the manufacturer have used more computer in the productions. Then let's take a look at the graph 2. This is a graph of the Chinese manufacturing workforce between the year of 1990s and the year of 2006. Though the graph, we can see that Chinese manufacturing workforce have achieved the peak in the year of 1997. And the four after that, the job loss was not only happens in US, but also in China, because the human labor was replaced by the computer in the manufacturing process. From the two graphs, it's safely to conclude that information technology has contributed to the job loss. I'm not saying that Chinese have nothing to do with American job loss, but at least we find that Chinese was not only one fact. What's more, another truth is that U.S.-Chinese trade relationship is actually creating a job in U.S. According to Canis, at 2011, China has created an enormous demand of the U.S. company to build up support service, and overall you see fantastic profit from the U.S. company because of China. There are lots of real-world examples around us. To illustrate, my uncle immigrated to the US and started his own enterprise 3 years ago. The focus of his enterprise was disposal of the metals. He will collect waste metal in the Americas and then transport to China. After the waste metal has been disposed to build a new materials, he will sell the new material back to the US. His company has more than 100 American employees. My uncle is not only one creating jobs. If you have a time, please take a walk into the Chinatown. You will find lots of American employees. The international trade actually creates a lot of new jobs for the Americans. Also, international trade would lead to further international investment. According to Kathleen, at 2011, the China holds around $1.2 trillion in U.S. treasury bonds and the job-creating enterprise. For instance, there are some state-owned enterprises in China doing the international trade with companies in the U.S. To expand the business, some of the SOEs might start a new subsidiary in the U.S. invest in the Greenfield project. Please think about that. Where the $1.2 trillion actually goes, it will spend on different projects in the Americans and finally goes to the hand of the Americans' employees. Finally, regardless of the cost of the job lost, the benefit from the international trade, the cheap Chinese labor has particularly new result of the pressure from the U.S. corporations. According to the global labor strategies, U.S.-based global corporations like Walmart, Google, Microsoft, and Nike, acting through the U.S. business organization like American Chamber of the Commerce in Shanghai and U.S. China Business Council, are actively lobbying against the new labor legislation, which increased the rights of the Chinese laborers. Why they're against the new labor legislation? Did the new legislation provide any unbelievable rules to protect Chinese? Actually, the new labor legislation only provide a minor standard that's common in many other countries, such as enforced labor contract, severance pay regulation, and the negotiation over the workplace policy and produce. However, those U.S. corporations which were subject to same regulation in U.S. are now against the same kind of regulation only because it's in China. The logic is easy to understand. Those multinational corporations want to enjoy the cheap labor without taking any further obligations, so they choose to be opposed to the new legislations. So it's a reason that U.S. corporation wants to maximize their profit. My point is that Chinese labor is cheap because U.S. corporation is not willing to pay higher rate. Please, like everyone wants to earn a higher salary, but we don't have an opportunity to do that. All in all, Chinese should not be criticized for the taking away the job from the Americans, because the job loss in the manufacturer was primarily because the manufacturer changed the production process. The U.S.-China international trading actually increased the job opportunity, and the cheap labor was caused by U.S. itself. The trend of the globalization cannot stop. Also, there was never competition between the China and the U.S. International trade can be benefit to consumer in both territories. Irrational complaint won't bring you a new job offer. So please focus on equipping yourself with the new skills. That's it.